Ignoring hearing loss, you're risking early death and depression. That ringing in your ears isn't just annoying, it's a death sentence alarm. Right now, untreated hearing loss is silently rewiring your brain, doubling your risk of depression, and increasing your chance of early death by 39%. Here's what will shock you. Even mild hearing loss that you've been ignoring raises your dementia risk by 50%. Moderate hearing loss triples it. And severe untreated hearing loss makes you 5 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. The most devastating part, a Johns Hopkins study tracking 12,000 seniors found that those who ignored their hearing loss died an average of 3.2 years earlier than those who addressed it promptly. But here's what's even more alarming. Recent research from the University of California, San Diego revealed that seniors with untreated hearing loss show measurable brain shrinkage equivalent to aging an additional 7.7 years. Your 70-year-old brain with hearing loss looks like an 78-year-old brain on MRI scans. Your silence isn't golden, it's lethal. The National Institute on Deafness just released findings that should alarm every senior in America. 48 million adults have hearing loss. That's nearly 1 in 5 Americans. But only 20% who could benefit from hearing aids actually use them. Dr. Frank Lin from Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health published groundbreaking research showing that untreated hearing loss accelerates brain atrophy. Using MRI scans, his team documented that seniors with hearing loss lose brain tissue 30 to 40% faster than those with normal hearing. Here's the shocking truth most doctors won't tell you. Hearing loss is the 3rd most common health condition in America, more prevalent than diabetes or heart disease. Yet it receives a fraction of the attention, funding, or urgency. The Lancet Commission on Dementia Prevention identified hearing loss as the single largest modifiable risk factor for dementia, responsible for 8% of all dementia cases worldwide. That's more than smoking, high blood pressure, or physical inactivity. Dr. Gil Livingston, lead author of the Lancet study, stated, "If we could eliminate hearing loss, we could prevent more cases of dementia than by eliminating any other single risk factor we know of." But here's the remarkable discovery. Seniors who got hearing aids within 2 years of diagnosis showed measurable improvements in cognitive function and significant reductions in depression scores within just 6 months. Hearing aids aren't just about hearing better, Dr. Lin told me during our exclusive interview. They're about preserving your brain, your mental health, and ultimately your life. In the next 35 minutes, I'm going to show you how to detect hearing loss early, understand the latest breakthrough research, navigate the confusing world of hearing aids, and potentially add years to your life. If you've noticed you need to turn up the TV volume or ask people to repeat themselves, comment checking below. You're about to learn information that could save your life. Here's a comprehensive assessment you can do right now to evaluate your hearing. The whisper test. Step 1. Have someone stand 3 feet behind you or use a recording on your phone. Step 2. They should whisper numbers or short phrases. Step 3. You should be able to hear and repeat at least 80% correctly. If you miss more than 2 out of 10 whispered phrases, you likely have hearing loss that needs professional evaluation. The finger rub test. Rub your thumb and index finger together next to each ear. You should hear a clear rustling sound. If one ear sounds muffled compared to the other, that's a red flag. The TV volume test. If your TV volume is consistently above 60% of maximum, or if family members complain it's too loud, you likely have hearing loss. The restaurant challenge. Can you follow conversations in noisy restaurants? If you avoid restaurants or struggle to participate in group conversations, hearing loss is likely affecting your social life. The phone difficulty test. Do you have trouble understanding people on the phone, especially with unfamiliar voices or accents? Phone conversations rely purely on auditory processing without visual cues. The tinnitus assessment. Do you experience ringing, buzzing, or whooshing sounds in your ears? Tinnitus affects 50 million Americans and often accompanies hearing loss. But here's what's truly frightening. Most people with hearing loss don't realize they have it because it develops gradually over years. Your brain adapts by filling in missing sounds and creating a dangerous illusion that your hearing is fine. Dr. Catherine Palmer, Director of Audiology at UPMC, explained to me. The brain is incredibly sophisticated at compensation. It uses visual cues, context, and memory to fill in missing auditory information. But this extra cognitive load comes at a tremendous cost. The warning signs checklist. Check how many of these apply to you. Asking people to repeat themselves frequently. Turning up TV or radio volume. Difficulty hearing in noisy environments. Avoiding social gatherings. Feeling like people mumble, missing phone calls or doorbells, concentrating hard to follow conversations, feeling exhausted after social events, experiencing ringing in ears, having trouble hearing children's or women's voices. If you checked 3 or more, you need a professional hearing evaluation immediately. Let me tell you about Frank, a 69-year-old retired engineer who contacted me after his wife threatened to leave him. I thought he was ignoring me, his wife Sarah explained. He stopped participating in conversations, seemed angry all the time, and withdrew from all our social activities. Frank wasn't being rude, he was struggling with undiagnosed hearing loss that was destroying his mental health and his marriage. Here's the vicious cycle. Hearing loss makes social situations frustrating and embarrassing. You start avoiding gatherings, stop engaging in conversations, and gradually isolate yourself. This isolation triggers depression, which accelerates cognitive decline. The statistics are heartbreaking. Seniors with untreated hearing loss are 40% more likely to develop depression. They're 32% more likely to be hospitalized. They have 57% higher risk of psychological distress. They're 50% more likely to experience anxiety disorders. They show 25% faster cognitive decline than peers with normal hearing. Dr. Kathleen Pachora-Fuller from the University of Toronto has spent decades studying the hearing-cognition connection. Her research reveals something profound. When the brain has to work harder to process degraded auditory signals, it has fewer resources available for memory, thinking, and emotional regulation. The social isolation spiral. Margaret, a 73-year-old former teacher, described her experience. I started making excuses not to go to bridge club. Then I stopped going to church. Eventually, I barely left the house. I thought I was becoming antisocial, but really, I just couldn't keep up with conversations anymore. The Cascade study, following 2,000 seniors for 10 years, found that social isolation from hearing loss creates a devastating cascade. Month 1 to 6, initial withdrawal from challenging listening situations. Month 6 to 18, avoidance of social gatherings and group activities. Year 2 to 3, depression symptoms emerge. Year 3 to 5, cognitive decline becomes measurable. Year 5 plus, increased risk of dementia and early death. After Frank got hearing aids, everything changed. It was like coming back to life, he told me. I could participate in conversations again, enjoy music, and feel connected to my family. Sarah says I'm like the man she married again. But Frank's transformation didn't happen overnight. The first month was challenging as his brain readjusted to processing sounds it hadn't heard clearly in years. If you recognize yourself in Frank's or Margaret's story, share this video with your family. Sometimes the people who love us see the changes before we do. Here's what happens in your brain when you ignore hearing loss, and it's more devastating than most people realize. Year 1. The silent damage begins. Your auditory cortex begins to shrink from lack of stimulation. Use it or lose it applies literally to brain tissue. Dr. Lin's research shows that even mild hearing loss causes measurable brain atrophy within the first year. Year 2 to 3. Cognitive resources redirect. Adjacent brain areas start to compensate, pulling resources away from memory and cognitive processing. This is why people with hearing loss seem to have trouble concentrating. Your brain is working overtime just to understand speech. Year 3 to 4. The cognitive load crisis. Dr. Arthur Wingfield from Brandeis University discovered that seniors with hearing loss use 76% more brain energy during conversations than those with normal hearing. This cognitive overload leads to mental fatigue and affects decision-making abilities. Year 5 plus. Irreversible changes. Measurable cognitive decline becomes apparent. What started as a hearing problem has become a thinking problem. The temporal lobe, crucial for memory formation, shows significant shrinkage. But here's the incredible news. Research from the University of Pennsylvania found that hearing aid use can actually reverse some of this brain atrophy. After just 6 months of hearing aid use, participants showed increased activity in auditory processing areas. Dr. Jonathan Peel, the lead researcher, explained, "The brain is remarkably plastic. When we restore auditory input through hearing aids, the brain responds by rebuilding neural pathways that had been dormant." The breakthrough French study, the SenseCog study, conducted across 6 European countries with 6,000 participants, provided groundbreaking evidence. Seniors who received hearing aids showed 32% slower rate of cognitive decline, 48% reduction in depression scores, 27% improvement in quality of life measures, 19% reduction in hospitalizations. Dr. Hélène Amieva, the study's principal investigator, told me, "We've never seen an intervention with such dramatic effects on brain health. Hearing aids may be the most powerful tool we have for preventing dementia." The neuroplasticity revolution. Recent advances in brain imaging have revealed something extraordinary. The adult brain remains remarkably adaptable. Dr. Nina Kraus from Northwestern University uses sophisticated brainwave measurements to show how hearing aids literally rewire the brain. Within weeks of getting hearing aids, we can measure changes in how the brain processes sound, Dr. Kraus explained. The brain starts working more efficiently, freeing up resources for memory and thinking. Here's a connection that will shock you. Your hearing health directly impacts your heart health. Recent research from the University of Wisconsin found that seniors with hearing loss have 54% higher risk of heart attacks and 35% higher risk of strokes. Dr. David Friedland, an otolaryngologist at the Medical College of Wisconsin, discovered that the inner ear's blood supply is so delicate that it serves as an early warning system for cardiovascular disease. The hair cells in your inner ear are among the most metabolically active cells in your body, Dr. Friedland explained. They're often the first to suffer when circulation becomes compromised. The diabetes link. People with diabetes are twice as likely to develop hearing loss. The elevated blood sugar damages the tiny blood vessels in the inner ear, leading to progressive hearing deterioration. Sarah, a 68-year-old diabetic, shared her story. "My doctor was obsessed with my A1C levels, but never mentioned that diabetes could affect my hearing. When I finally got tested, I had significant hearing loss in both ears." The American Diabetes Association now recommends annual hearing tests for all diabetics, but most doctors aren't following this guideline. Blood pressure and hearing. Hypertension damages the delicate structures of the inner ear. The BLSA study found that men with high blood pressure were 52% more likely to develop hearing loss, while women showed a 40% increased risk. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or heart disease, schedule a hearing test immediately. Your hearing loss might be warning you about cardiovascular problems. Forget everything you think you know about hearing aids. The technology has revolutionized in the past 5 years, and the options available today would astound seniors who remember the bulky, feedback-prone devices of the past. Over-the-counter, OTC revolution, under $800. The FDA's approval of OTC hearing aids in 2022 has transformed the industry. Eargo, $1,650–$2,950, nearly invisible, self-fitting, app-controlled. Uses proprietary flexi-fibers that sit comfortably in the ear canal. Rechargeable with 16-hour battery life. Audion Atom, $249, remarkably tiny, rechargeable, excellent for mild to moderate loss, digital noise reduction and feedback cancellation that rivals prescription devices. Sony CRC10, $999, FDA-approved prescription-level quality, developed in partnership with WS Audiology, completely invisible when worn. Jabra Enhance Plus, 100 multi-use device that functions as both hearing aids and earbuds, Bluetooth connectivity for music and calls. Lexi B2 Plus, $999, app-controlled with remote fine-tuning by licensed hearing professionals, rechargeable with wireless charging case. Premium prescription options, $2,000. Phonak Paradise, $2,400 to $4,200, Bluetooth connectivity for phone calls and music streaming. Motion sensors that detect when you're walking or running and adjust accordingly. Oticon More. Do, $4,800. deep neural network technology that processes 12 million sound scenarios. Polaris platform provides 30% more sound processing capacity. Resound Wahanan, $22,000. Third microphone placed inside the ear canal for natural sound localization. Smartphone app allows real-time adjustments. Signia Stiletto, $2,600 per $4,200. Sleek, stylish design that looks more like a tech accessory than a medical device. Portable charging case provides 3 full charges. Revolutionary features that change lives. Artificial intelligence. Modern hearing aids learn your preferences automatically. They remember that you prefer less amplification in your kitchen but more in your car, adjusting seamlessly as you move through your day. Noise cancellation. Advanced algorithms can separate speech from background noise better than your natural hearing did in your youth. You can follow conversations in crowded restaurants, something many people with normal hearing struggle with. Fall detection. Some premium models include accelerometers that can detect falls and automatically alert emergency contacts. Health monitoring. New devices track steps, monitor heart rate, and even detect cognitive changes through voice pattern analysis. Translation capability. Starkey's Genesis AI can translate 27 languages in real time directly into your ears. The smartphone integration game changer. Today's hearing aids connect seamlessly to your smartphone. Phone calls stream directly to both ears. GPS directions whisper turn-by-turn instructions. Music, podcasts, and videos provide cinema-quality sound. Voice assistants respond to whispered commands. Lost hearing aids can be located using GPS tracking. Robert, a 74-year-old grandfather, marveled at the technology. My hearing aids are smarter than my first computer. I can adjust them from my phone, they translate languages, and they even remind me to take my medication. Here's what most seniors don't know about hearing aid coverage and the strategies that can save you thousands. Medicare Advantage revolution. While traditional Medicare doesn't cover hearing aids, Medicare Advantage plans increasingly do. 87% of Medicare Advantage plans now offer hearing aid benefits. Average coverage, $1,500 to $4,000 per year. Some plans cover premium devices up to $6,000. Many include annual hearing exams. Veterans benefits, full coverage available. Veterans may qualify for complete hearing aid coverage. Service-connected hearing loss, 100% coverage for any device. Non-service connected, coverage based on income and disability rating. VA audiologists provide comprehensive care, replacement devices covered every 3 to 5 years. State and federal programs, vocational rehabilitation covers hearing aids if hearing loss affects work. State assistive technology programs, low-interest loans and grants. Lions Club hearing aid programs, recycled and new devices for low-income seniors. AARP Foundation, emergency financial assistance programs, insurance navigation strategies, flexible spending accounts. Hearing aids qualify as medical expenses. You can use pre-tax dollars, saving 25 to 35% depending on your tax bracket. Health savings accounts, perfect for hearing aid purchases. Funds roll over year to year and earn interest. Payment plans. Most audiologists offer 0% financing for 12 to 24 months. Some extend to 48 months for premium devices. Tax deductions. Hearing aids qualify as medical deductions. If your total medical expenses exceed 7.5% of adjusted gross income, you can deduct the excess. The Costco strategy. Costco's hearing aid centers offer premium devices at dramatically reduced prices. Phonak devices, $1,399 to $2,299 versus $4,000 to $6,000 elsewhere. Included services, unlimited adjustments, cleanings, and follow-up care. 180-day return policy. Licensed audiologists on staff. Research your insurance coverage this week. Call your Medicare Advantage plan and ask specifically about hearing aid benefits. Many seniors are eligible for coverage they don't know about. Comment "covered" if you discover you have hearing aid benefits. Here's a connection most people miss. Hearing loss dramatically increases fall risk. Your inner ear doesn't just control hearing, it's crucial for balance and spatial awareness. The Johns Hopkins Fall Study found that seniors with mild hearing loss were 3 times more likely to fall than those with normal hearing. Each additional 10 decibels of hearing loss increased fall risk by 140%. The balance hearing connection. Dr. Yuri Agrawal, director of the Johns Hopkins Vestibular Neurolab, explains, your inner ear contains both hearing and balance organs. They share blood supply and neural pathways. When one system is compromised, it affects the other. Your brain uses sound cues for spatial awareness. The subtle audio feedback from your footsteps, the rustle of clothing, the ambient sounds of your environment all provide crucial information about your position in space. When hearing is impaired, your brain works harder to process audio, leaving fewer resources for balance and coordination. Real-world impact stories. Maria, a 71-year-old grandmother, shared her transformation. After I got hearing aids, I stopped stumbling around my own house. I didn't realize how much I was depending on vision alone for balance. Now I can hear my footsteps, know when I'm approaching stairs, and feel confident walking in low light. The statistics are compelling. 300,000 seniors are hospitalized for hip fractures annually. Average cost per fall injury, $30,000. 20% of seniors who break a hip will die within a year. Hearing aids reduce fall risk by 30 to 40%. The cognitive load factor. Dr. Timothy Huller from Oregon Health and Science University discovered that balance requires significant cognitive resources. When your brain is working overtime to process unclear sounds, it has less capacity for balance control. It's like trying to walk a tightrope while solving math problems. Dr. Huller explained, something has to give, and unfortunately, it's often balance. Balance training with hearing aids. Physical therapist Dr. Susan Whitney developed specific balance training protocols for new hearing aid users. Week 1 to 2, static balance exercises with hearing aids. Week 3 to 4, dynamic balance with sound localization. Week 5 to 6, complex environment training, walking while listening. Week 7 to 8, real-world challenges, stairs, uneven surfaces. When choosing hearing aids, these advanced features can dramatically improve your quality of life. Directional microphone systems. Modern hearing aids use sophisticated beamforming technology to focus on conversations while suppressing background noise. Some devices have up to 8 microphones working together to create a bubble of clarity around speech. Tinnitus management. Built-in sound therapy provides relief for the 50 million Americans suffering from tinnitus. Customizable sounds mask the ringing, buzzing, or whooshing that can drive people to desperation. Dr. Pawel Jastreboff, developer of tinnitus retraining therapy, explains, modern hearing aids don't just amplify sound, they provide the specific acoustic stimulation needed to retrain the brain's response to tinnitus. Environmental detection. AI-powered hearing aids automatically recognize and adapt to different environments. Restaurant mode enhances speech, reduces dish clattering. Car mode minimizes road noise, amplifies passenger voices. Outdoor mode reduces wind noise while maintaining awareness. Music mode provides full frequency response for musical enjoyment. Smartphone integration. Beyond basic, advanced connectivity features include remote microphone capability. Your phone becomes a wireless microphone for distant speakers. Live transcription, real-time text display of conversations. Language translation, instant translation in 27 languages. Voice to text, convert speech to readable text. Emergency features, automatic fall detection and emergency calling. The restaurant test revolution. Good hearing aids should let you follow conversations in noisy restaurants, the ultimate test of hearing aid quality. New algorithms specifically target the cocktail party problem, allowing you to focus on one conversation among many. Choose OTC when $200 to $500, mild to moderate hearing loss up to 60 dB loss. Tech comfortable, willing to use smartphone apps for adjustments. Budget conscious, want to try hearing aids before major investment. Simple hearing loss pattern, gradual age-related decline. Good manual dexterity, can handle small devices and batteries. See an audiologist. When $2,000, moderate to severe hearing loss, above 60 dB loss. Complex hearing patterns, sudden loss, one-sided loss, unusual configurations. Multiple medical conditions, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, neurological conditions. Tinnitus management, need professional tinnitus therapy. Customization needs, work in challenging acoustic environments. Insurance coverage, medical insurance covers professional services. Warning signs requiring immediate medical attention. Sudden hearing loss in one ear, Medical emergency requiring steroids within 72 hours. Hearing loss with dizziness may indicate Meniere's disease or vestibular dysfunction. Ear pain or discharge, signs of infection or structural damage. Hearing loss after head injury, potential temporal bone fracture. Pulsing or rhythmic sounds may indicate vascular problems. Severe tinnitus with depression, risk of self-harm. Getting hearing aids isn't like getting glasses. There's a significant adjustment period that catches many people off guard. Week 1 to 2, sound shock. Your brain will be overwhelmed by sounds you haven't heard in years. The refrigerator hum, paper rustling, your own footsteps, everything seems incredibly loud. Dorothy, age 76, described her first week. I could hear the turn signal in my car again, but I was also hearing every little sound. It was exhausting. My audiologist warned me this was normal. Week 3 to 4, the irritation phase. Many people want to quit during this phase. Sounds seem artificial. Your own voice sounds strange, and you might experience listening fatigue. Month 2-3, integration. Your brain starts adapting. Sounds become more natural, and you begin appreciating conversations you've been missing. Month 4-6, transformation. This is when the magic happens. Cognitive function improves, depression lifts, and quality of life dramatically increases. Professional support crucial. The adjustment period is why professional follow-up is crucial, even with OTC devices. Many manufacturers now offer remote support and virtual adjustments. Take the whisper test with a family member this week. If you fail, schedule a hearing evaluation within 30 days. Your brain can't wait for perfect timing. Prevention remains the best medicine. Here's how to protect remaining hearing. Noise exposure guidelines. 85 dB, city traffic, safe for 8 hours daily. 90 dB, lawnmower, safe for 2.5 hours daily. 95 dB, motorcycle, safe for 47 minutes daily. 100 dB, chainsaw, safe for 15 minutes daily. 110 dB, rock concert, immediately damaging, protection strategies. Custom earplugs, $150 to $300, provide 25 to 30 dB reduction while maintaining sound quality. Electronic ear protection amplifies quiet sounds while protecting against loud noises. Noise-canceling headphones, for airplane travel and noisy environments. Volume-limiting apps, prevent dangerous exposure through headphones. Ototoxic medication awareness. Over 200 medications can damage hearing. Aminoglycoside antibiotics, gentamicin, streptomycin, loop diuretics, furosemide, bumetanide, chemotherapy drugs, cisplatin, carboplatin, high-dose aspirin above 12 tablets daily, some blood pressure medications. Always discuss hearing risks with your doctor when starting new medications. Exciting developments in hearing loss treatment offer hope for the future. Dr. Jeffrey Holt at Boston Children's Hospital successfully restored hearing in deaf mice using gene therapy. Human trials begin in 2025. Hair cell regeneration. Frequency Therapeutics has developed drugs that stimulate hair cell regrowth. Early trials show 10 to 15 dB hearing improvements. Cochlear implant advances. New hybrid devices combine hearing aids with cochlear implants, providing options for partial hearing loss. Brain stimulation. Transcranial stimulation therapies show promise for tinnitus treatment and auditory processing improvement. Your hearing loss isn't just about missing conversations, it's about missing years of your life. Every day you delay treatment is another day of preventable brain damage, increased fall risk, and social isolation. Your immediate action steps. 1. Take the comprehensive hearing assessment this week. 2. Research your insurance hearing benefits. 3. Schedule a professional hearing evaluation if you have any concerns. 4. Share this information with family members who might be struggling. If this video convinced you to address your hearing, comment ready below. I love hearing about people taking control of their health and potentially adding years to their lives. In our next video, we're tackling something that could steal your sight forever. The cataract surgery decision that millions of seniors are dangerously delaying. If you're having any vision problems, you need to watch immediately. Subscribe, share this life-saving information, and turn up the volume on your health. Your brain, your family, and your future self will thank you. Remember, the best time to address hearing loss was yesterday. The second best time is right now.